I know Boney guy said he was going to do a video, but I got to thinking, do I understand this principle enough? So at the risk of putting out some false information, because I've heard of the CAGED system, but I honestly never studied it under that name. And so basically this is more or less of a video to see if I understand it correctly. And if I do, maybe somebody else can get it too. What I'm getting is CAGED refers to the first letters of the open chords: C chord, A chord, G chord, E chord, and D chord. And the concept of moving those shapes all over the fretboard in order to learn the fretboard and learn where your octaves are and your scales are and whatnot. So like if you had the C chord here, your octave is on the 5th string and the 2nd string. Now if you move that, let's say you move that same shape and you barred, say, at the 7th fret here and did a C chord, and use that shape, your root notes would still be on the 5th and 2nd strings. So that's the C CAGED shape, moved around a little bit. So right, here's the A. A. And your octave notes are on the 5th string and the 3rd string. I mean, this is kind of stuff that we all know from playing guitar, that 2 strings up and 2 frets up is the octave, except when the third string is involved, or the 2nd string is involved, because in that case from the 4th string to the 2nd string it's 2 strings over and 3 frets up. But basically what I digress a little bit here. The A CAGED shape, so you got you move, and that's kind of like the perfect basis for a lot of the pentatonic country-ish type riffs or licks, that at least the ones that I play. Like say if I moved that shape up to the 5th fret and made it be in the key of D, the CAGED A. Alright, so here's G. Your octave notes are the 6th string, the 3rd string, and the 1st string, just like they are on the on some other chords that we know. I'll get to that in a minute, but here, if you move that up to, like say, the 5th fret and formed a G chord, you'd have a C, but your root would be at the 6th string, the 3rd string, and the 1st string. So you go, and I see why the one guy was talking about that it's kind of lends itself, or it's kind of pentatonic in nature, because the notes that lay under your fingers in those shapes are more or less the pentatonic scale notes, the major pentatonic scale. But basically, if you think of it as just being a device to learn where the octaves are, actually I did something wrong there, because I went down to there, but if I'm going to be in the C cage shape or the G cage shape, I should have gone down to here, because that makes it the A cage shape. See what I mean? See how it's movable? So here is the E. Kind of like the old staple that, at least that I learned when I was a kid. Like if I wanted to play in C, I'd go to the 8th fret, do the E shape, but so your octaves are sixth string, the 4th string, and the 1st string, which is kind of like what they are on. In other words, you have 3 octaves in the shape, is I guess what I'm getting at. Because in the G it's the 6th, 3rd, and 1st, but in the E it's the 6th, 4th, and 1st. So that's E, and here's the D shape. And why this is different from the C shape, and I see what some people's point is, because this major triad is basically the same relative notes in the C shape and the D shape, but the difference is that in the D shape, your root note is down here on the fourth string, rather than on the 5th string like it is in the C shape. So if I did a D chord with the C shape cage, the C cage shape, some of this gets a little tongue twisty, the root note would be down on the 5th string like this. But actually, if we want to move that around, basically say we wanted to make a G D caged, and it would be up here like this. So to do a lick, so that's really not the C shape, because if you're using the root note that's on the 4th string, if you wanted to use the root note down on the 5th string, that would be the C shape. So that's how it's different. The C caged and the D caged are different. Anyway, that's what I get out of it, and if that explanation helps anybody, good, and if it doesn't help anybody, I'm sorry, and happy playing. Catch you later.